this.
Oh, yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
You're very photogenic.
Thank you. I should work on my posture then.
Yeah, your posture's lovely. Let's make sure we got the... we don't want it facing me as much.
You got to be in frame now.
Well, I'm in frame. But no, it's all about you, Josh Caterer. Josh Caterer of Smoking Popes, the returning champion on Car Con Carne. Again on the show. And
does this put me in the lead for most appearances?
I think so. I think Tyler Wildley at Epic Deli will have some issue with that. But I think this does put you in the lead. In fact, Dennis Buckley was very worried that you would do the show tonight. He was really pushing for Matt to step up, but that didn't happen. Before we begin, Josh Caterer, we're in Joliet right now. I do want to mention Car Con Carne is sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Business owners, are you tired of your hard-earned profits going toward paying expensive fees every time your customer pays with a credit or debit card? We're happy to announce C&H Financial Services has the solution. They're the fastest-growing financial services company in Illinois, as recognized by Inc. magazine, and their patented technology allows you to eliminate 100% of the fees associated with accepting credit and debit.
That's almost all the fees.
I would say that is all. 100. And I'm not good at math. I went to Columbia College, but I think that's all.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Associated with accepting credit and debit cards as a form of payment. I think clients or sponsors shudder at the idea of the host and guest riffing or improvising off their script. I don't want their
ad to become a bit.
Right. Or just fundamentally wrong.
Right.
The facts would be completely skewed. 100% of the fees. C&H will also upgrade your business to the industry's leading point-of-sale system to streamline every aspect of your business for no cost. No cost, Josh Caterer of the Smoking Popes.
Because usually if there's any streamlining involved, that's going to cost you.
That's what I'm saying.
So free streamlining?
Well, and here's how you
rare.
Here's how you learn more, Josh. freeprocessingnow.com, or you can call 855-600-2437.
Is that a 24-hour number?
That's what I was wondering. Maybe you can leave a message.
Because it's after midnight.
Or write this down. But the way Facebook works, people may not see this till Monday morning. Perfect timing. And if you're a small business owner, if you're a restaurateur, you're working 24/7, let's be honest.
Yeah.
855-600-2437, extension 999, and start saving money today. Josh, you want to do this?
I think we've already begun.
Here we are.
I feel like we're halfway through it.
I love the fact you've been on the show a lot. You're on the show every week because you did the theme song. Thank you for that.
Oh, sure. It's an honor for me to have
be
associated with and appearing on your program every week.
This is a rare situation in that we're actually recording after you performed.
Yeah.
Usually we're just kind of doing this for fun, one-off sort of stuff. You just got off stage at the Forge in Joliet. I love watching you guys. Honestly,
thanks.
That was just such a great show. It's good to see Matt on stage tonight.
Yeah.
I forgot, Matt's a very physical player. He's very animated on stage.
The thing you might find surprising about Matt is that when he's off stage, he does not exercise. So
this is it.
This is it. So, he's doing his scissor kicks. He's jumping around, pogoing, really catching some air up there. You would think, oh, he must, you've got to stay in shape for that.
Yeah. Nope.
No.
This is it.
No, you just, you go on stage, you leave it all on the stage, and then you go back to your normal life.
All right. Since we're on
Which I think is inspiring to all of us.
He is an inspiration to us all.
Think of what you can achieve without any rigorous training.
Yeah. I believe the kids would say #goals.
#goals, yeah. I think so.
So, since we're talking about Matt, and for those who aren't as familiar with the Smoking Popes, which is unthinkable, sure, but if they're not, the core of Smoking Popes is the three caterer gentlemen, Josh, Eli, and Matt. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen Matt for a while. So here's a situation. We're at the Forge in Joliet. It's the T1 Fest. Really, top to bottom, great lineup, really cool bands. I'm terrible with names and faces. I just want to be clear about that. There were a lot of people here tonight who I've seen before, who I've met before, and not out of disrespect, but I just couldn't remember their names.
Yeah.
Putting that aside.
I suffer from the same problem.
A guy walks in tonight, it's maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm convinced it's Matt Caterer. I haven't seen him in a million years.
Okay.
I go up to him, pat him on the back. I'm like, hey, great to see you. Really looking forward to seeing you play tonight. It's been forever. Looked at me blankly. He's like, who are you? I said, it's James. Hi, James. And he said some other name, and I just about died. I'm like, I thought you were someone else. I'm really sorry. And I think he kind of looked like the Matt Caterer on the cover of Get Fired, which was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, that's Matt. He's changed since then. So it was very embarrassing.
That's the sort of what's one of the pitfalls of celebrity, James, as you know, is that you freeze in people's minds.
That is true.
At whatever era of your career most penetrates their psyche, you are forever that age.
So the interesting part of all this is I still didn't talk to Matt at all tonight.
Very elusive.
I didn't even see him off the stage. Eli was working the merch desk or merch table all night. I saw you. I helped you bring in some gear. Matt was just an enigma.
Yeah.
And I saw Mike briefly. My whole goal for tonight, besides seeing you and supporting and recording, was making my formal apology to Mike Felumley for mispronouncing his name. This has stuck with me since the last time we talked about his name, that I've mispronounced his name for 25 years.
What were you calling him?
Felumley.
Well, okay. Does that count as a full mispronunciation? It's really just emphasizing the wrong syllable.
Yeah, but if someone said Van Oosdel, that'd be wrong. Or Josh Cartier.
Well, see, those are mispronunciations. I would say, what if someone called you Van Oosdel?
That'd be wrong. That's just categorically wrong.
Or we live in Illinois.
Going back to your show tonight, and going back to Eli at the merch table, I was over there. It was maybe right before the Lillingtons played, and one of the guys from the Reaganomics was talking to Eli and talking about how much he loves Smoking Popes, as we all do. And he was asking Eli what you guys were going to play tonight.
Yeah.
And Eli said, "I don't want to tell you. That'll spoil it. That'll make it less exciting." And he was kind of being funny, but serious too.
Right.
And there is something to that. I liked not knowing what you were going to play tonight. I liked not knowing that you opened with Simmer Down. Put it like this, I was enjoying the show so much, and by the end of the show I was in front of the stage, I kind of forgot about I Know You Love Me. So you played Need You Around, and then you played I Know You Love Me. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. They still didn't play this, and it was exciting to me.
Well, that's nice. See, I don't know why people want to know what's on a set list, because in almost any other arena, particularly of the arts, you don't want a spoiler.
Right.
You don't want to. You start watching a TV show, you don't know what's going to happen at the end. You don't want to see. You don't want to know how it's going to be resolved. You don't want to know if some of your favorite characters are going to die. You don't want to know these things. You don't really want to know what you're going to get for Christmas. You don't want to know these things. So why would you want to see a set list before it gets played?
And I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I've done it, and I regret it every time. I don't know what it is. I regret it. But tonight, going into this cold, I could have looked at your set list before you took the stage. I mean, you put them out there, then you walked off stage. I didn't. I let it all surprise me, and I was enjoying it so much.
I'm proud of you, James.
Thank you. I was enjoying it so much.
It's a sign of maturity.
It is. I'm growing. But it was really exciting. You played I Know You Love Me. I'm like, of course they're playing I Know You Love Me. But I was just in the moment, and I experienced it as a fan, as I should, and it was awesome. And you do that thing where you go out in the crowd, you let the crowd sing.
Well, this one was fun because they had, what do you call that? There was like that little fence, like a security...
just a barrier?
Barrier,
yeah.
That's what you call it, a barrier. And on the inside of the barrier were these little steps, I think for security people to stand on if you need to beat somebody down.
That's right.
But it also works really well. If you hop down there, you can stand on the step and have nice access to the crowd there. You can get the mic in their faces.
That was really fun.
And I saw a lot of friends in the audience who I knew were lead singers of bands. So it was going to work out pretty well if I hopped up there. And
I was wondering. I thought, are people looking...
They like koi fish came...
See, I was worried that people would see you coming and have that look of just being mortified.
No,
like,
a lot of people do, but if it's a guy in a band, I mean, it's Dan Vapid, he's not going to be sheepish about being on the mic.
Right, exactly.
It sounded great.
Of course, because he's Dan Vapid.
He's Dan Vapid.
Dan Vapid.
You know, he's a pro.
He is a pro. So, really great time tonight.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it. And the new stuff, I mean, you put out an album last year. That stuff integrates really well with the set.
Thanks.
I mean, just the pacing of the set I thought was really good, old and new. You picked a really good set list. It's funny. I'm going to interrupt you before you say something. Sorry.
Okay.
Talking to a guy, don't know who it was, just who's connected with me on Facebook, and he said, I wouldn't miss this show. I've been a Smoking Popes fan forever. Their music is timeless. Timeless is a big word, and I thought about that, and the songs really do hold up. And I thought about the set list afterwards, how the new and the old really were seamless, and there is something to be said. The songs aren't 90s songs that you're playing off Born to Quit or Get Fired or Destination. I mean, they all work together. They all sound contemporary and in their moment.
Thank you. You know, this means a lot coming from you, James.
Well,
because you're a man who has been exposed to a ridiculously overwhelming amount of music, both local, national, and international, of various genres. And so I would think that you would just become hardened, dead inside, where
I'm dead inside, but not about music.
For you, I also know you to be the kind of person who doesn't just blow smoke.
No, I love your band, and you know that. I wouldn't just blow smoke. But it's interesting, you talk about, I've been exposed to a lot of music. Yeah, I was in radio, but these days everyone's exposed to the same amount of music. I mean, you can be exposed to as much music as you want to be in them.
But if you're in radio now, do you still have people sending you physical things like CDs?
I think you do.
Do you?
No, I'm just a local music host. Look at that.
Oh, I punched.
Look, it's Josh Caterer and the Smoking Popes.
I punched the microphone. You can edit that out. Just clean it up and
let's be clear. I'm not editing anything. This is like the 6th interview I've done today. These are going to just roll out assembly line style. There's no finessing. So we're just.
I like that.
Whatever.
It's real.
I keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it real. All right. So we don't have to do a long interview. I just wanted to capture you after the moment, after you were live on stage. So much fun.
It's a lot of fun. And we've played this venue before, but it was called something else.
Mojo's, right?
It was Mojo's. Yeah.
We're on the good side of Joliet here. You don't want to go on the bad side.
I drove right past the prison on the way here.
I was at the prison 2 nights ago.
Really? Doing what?
A podcast. That's all I do now.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, it's that's where the Blues Brothers was filmed. Like that doorway. That's where.
Oh right, I saw you posted that. That's
Joliet
the door
Jake.
Where Joliet Jake came out.
It's
good times.
It's an intimidating structure, isn't it? Especially if you're not
really
expecting to see it.
It's foreboding. It's right up on the street. Usually, you think a prison would be
recessed or like yes.
Yeah, there'd be like a moat or something.
See, I was saying this. 88 Fingers Louie was in the car earlier. And we were talking about the prison.
I thought I sensed a presence here.
That's right. We were talking about prison, and I said, to me, the worst case scenario, the absolute most horrific thing I can imagine, is being sentenced to prison.
Yeah. Are you claustrophobic?
Yes.
Yeah. Those cells,
everything about it. Maybe, what was the movie? Ed Norton was in it. 15th Hour or 25th Hour? I don't know what the number was. But the idea is he's spending his last day as a free man before he has to go to prison, and it's stressful. Like just the mounting tension of him with his relationships with his family as he's getting ready to go off to jail. That stayed with me. So I think about things like that as I was walking around the Joliet prison in the middle of the night, like 14 acres of enclosed barbed wire space.
You got to have access inside of Joliet prison in the middle of the night.
Yes,
that's pretty special.
It was a little scary, not scary, but just unsettling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right,
you lead a cool life,
says the lead singer of Smoking Popes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love my life as well, but nobody's letting me into Joliet prison in the middle of the night.
You only need to ask. Now,
Maybe I could make a couple calls, I guess.
I'm sitting there in the balcony watching the first half of your set, and I'm looking down at the crowd. Everyone's singing along. They're singing the lyrics back at you. It's good to be a Smoking Pope. It's good to be Josh Caterer.
It's good to be the king. Remember that movie?
Yes. I mean, let's hear it for love. Everyone's singing along. People were singing along with Simmer Down.
Yeah. There was some debate as to whether we should do that many new songs in the set. Because, it's like, and I don't know where we're getting this information. But Matt had some kind of, he'd gotten this from somewhere. He was absolutely convinced that you should only do 3 songs off the new album. If you put out a new album, if it's more than 3 songs, somehow the audience just won't be able to engage with it or something. And so, when the album came out and we were touring, I pushed it up to 4, and I was like, well, let's do 4 songs, and we sort of, then you can space them out.
Yeah.
If we're doing like a 17-song set,
right?
You can kind of space them out so that there's, between all the new songs, there's like enough old ones. But then tonight, the thing was, for this show, I don't know, we got together and rehearsed because we haven't actually played a show together since June.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and we haven't been practicing either. So we have not actually played music together since June. So we got together for 1 practice for this show.
There was a certain rawness to
yeah, it was a little loosey-goosey, wasn't it?
I like that.
Yeah, it was. We were having fun, but it was not. We weren't going for precision.
Yeah.
But when we got together to rehearse, we ran a bunch of songs from the new album, and those felt really kind of fresh and inspired and fun to us. And then we started running through. We played No More Smiles, and like that song is perfectly good, except we played it like thousands of times, and so we were like, we don't really need. We got done with the song, and I literally said, we didn't need to practice that song, did we? And everybody was like, no. And we probably don't need to practice Need You Around, I Know You Love Me, Gotta Know Right Now, Let's Hear It For Love, any of that stuff. So we didn't. We only practiced. We said, let's think about the back catalog and pull out a couple of dusties that we haven't played. So that's why you got Sandra tonight.
That reacted very well.
Yeah, because we haven't played it in forever. But the other songs, Let's Hear It For Love, we have not played that song, even in rehearsal, for 5 months.
Right.
And I think we were like 94% accurate.
That's another song you've played 1,000,000 times.
Right.
It's hard to mess that up for you guys.
I think I hit a wrong note on one of the...
Look, it's Jimmy, the organizer of the T1 Fest.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Hey, there's Dan Vapid.
Dan Vapid.
Did you have him in here?
I did. Hi, Dan Vapid.
Josh.
Hey, I'm recording a podcast right now.
Oh, hey.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I did this earlier.
You did?
Yeah.
You earned your stripes.
Yeah,
I think
I'll leave you alone.
He's going to air these on the same day.
Am I?
And see how many more... We're in like in a cage match with each other.
You're going to win the cage match. You just are.
No, because only because I'm taking out ads. I'm going to invest the money.
Right. Smart.
Try to boost it.
I was hoping to get a photo with me and you.
Oh, dude.
Wait, give me your phone.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of you
okay?
right now. Yeah. All right, so we're watching right now.
Should we, do I have to get out? Or like...
No, we'll do it. Have Dan lean in.
That's me.
All right, there's Josh. We need Dan Vapid here.
I am a Josh, super fan.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Great pictures.
All right. So that's my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You never know who you'll see on the street here in Joliet.
Awesome show, by the way.
I'm a Dan super fan. Dude, I have been...
You guys go way back,
I've been an admirer of your work ever since 2 feet on the ground. I used to see you guys at McGregor's
Oh my
Mr.
Lord.
Bubble t-shirt era.
Oh, yeah. You're going way back with that, yeah.
Are you smiling?
I'm pretty giddy right now.
Sort of grinning?
You don't have to do the brooding rock star thing. Now, Dan's a little dark. Maybe it's just his soul. There we go. There we go. It's like Night of the Living Dead. Someone's crawling through the window.
Oh, Josh, such a
Excellent.
good show tonight. I had such a good time.
Oh, cool, man.
I'll let you get back to your interview. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, good.
Not at all.
Okay.
Dan Vapid, everybody.
We should play together more often.
Well, it's tough with him
like
because he
that
lives
guy.
downstate now. He lives by St. Louis.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Like, he literally drove here from St. Louis, parked the car, jumped in my car, went into the venue, and he was on stage 15 minutes later. That was how his afternoon went. A little crazy.
Yeah, well, he's in high demand. He's a celebrity. He's being whisked here and hither and yon.
But no, he's done a great deal of things in a great many bands.
I said that, but I really meant it. Like, there was a period in time back when I was in high school and started going to shows at McGregor's, and probably a lot of people that you have in this car talk about McGregor's, and you've been to McGregor's, right?
Years and years and years ago.
Yeah. That was the spot where I saw my first real punk shows, and one of the first bands I saw there was Apocalypse Hoboken, and then soon after that I saw Sludgeworth play at McGregor's, and those two bands were like heroes to me.
That's interesting.
And Dan, I thought, was just an amazing frontman. He always he was like inspiring to me about the way that he could connect with an audience and just project himself out there in a way that was that had showmanship, but also he was totally accessible, just a guy. But
yeah.
I was slightly intimidated by him, especially because then I joined Apocalypse Hoboken.
Wait, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, and then we were after a rehearsal one time. Dan Vapid
right.
showed up and was talking to us, and Scott Hoffman and Dan were talking about, oh man, I wish I could remember all the details of this story, but there was this, they were talking about some guy that they didn't like, and they wanted to do something to him.
Work him over?
Teach
him a lesson?
Yeah, teach him a lesson. And so Dan had this idea that they would tie him, they would tie his feet to the back bumper of a car, and that Dan would, like, Scott would drive, slowly, kind of like not too fast.
Well, what kind of Goodfellas shit were you getting
maybe
into?
Maybe 10 or 15 miles an hour, and that they would flip him over face down, and that Dan would sit on his head so that he would be like a human crayon. And his face would just...
a human crayon.
And he was, like, describing this idea and, like, laughing like a maniac. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm a part of this discussion. I don't think he means it, but it's really sort of exhilarating just to even be here hearing this story. And so ever since then, I mean, I don't know Dan super well. We see each other at shows. We've had many show backstage conversations, but I'm always slightly intimidated that he's going to tie me to the bumper of a car and sit on my head.
That's fair. As shocking as that story is, I think I'm more shocked to learn that you were in Apocalypse Hoboken for a minute.
I was for actually less than a year. I think it was about 9 months that I was in Apocalypse Hoboken. It was when I first started seeing them, they had a lead singer whose name was Ted.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to go. I mean, we're getting in the weeds with Chicago punk rock history, but...
And then, then Ted left, and for about a year, before they got Todd Pott, they had a guy named Lyle.
Okay.
As their lead singer. And I joined the band during that period, and we wrote and arranged and recorded. I don't think it was a full-length album. I think it was like 6 or 7 songs. It was like an EP called Punish the Innocent that they released on cassette, and it was recorded at Solid Sound, and that was the first time I ever met Phil Bonet. So Apocalypse Hoboken introduced me to Phil Bonet.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
So it was pivotal in Pope's history.
I was wondering this. I was thinking about talking to you today. Was it always clear that you were the one who would sing out of you and your brothers?
Only because we all tried singing and playing guitar at the same time, and I was the only one that could do it.
It's like this thing, right?
It's like, can you hold a consistent strumming pattern and sing a different a rhythm than that pattern.
And so you
I was the only one that really could do that.
You won the challenge
Early on. But, both of my brothers have good singing voices. I think I got the chance to develop mine more because I won the singing contest early on. But I think, like, if Matt had become the singer of the band back then, like, he would have, developed his own style as a singing voice and would have been perfectly good, front man for the band.
All right, so looking ahead to, was this your last show for the year? It has to be, right?
No, we have one more. We're playing in December in Milwaukee.
Okay, where are you playing in Milwaukee?
At the back room at Collectivo.
The coffee place.
Yeah.
Lovely. I love that place.
Yeah. This particular Collectivo has a really nice venue in the back of it called the back room.
That's so cool.
And it's like a 200, well, depending if they kind of take the wall out, it can be, I think, 250. So it's a nice little venue, but it's clean in there. It smells like coffee.
That's great.
Yeah. It's like just a place you want to be.
Smoking Popes and coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little fun road trip to Milwaukee. Why not? All right,
yeah,
so that's coming up.
That.
I'd love to. That's December 6th, you said?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm making that up.
I'm going to look on my little phone here.
So, and then
December 6th.
Look at that.
Yeah, this was, they keep wanting to do these kind of shows on Saturdays, but I finally got to the point where I said, I don't want to do the late night Saturday shows anymore.
And here we are at 1 in the morning.
Because here we are at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
This one I couldn't do anything about, but that one I moved it from a Saturday to a Friday because I always have to get up super early and leave worship at church on Sunday mornings, and I got to get up at like 6 in the morning.
Get out of my car.
To do that.
You got to wake up and lead. And
right. So if I do a poor job tomorrow morning,
it's my fault.
I'm blaming you.
I accept that. It's only
and
fair.
you can. That's between you and the Lord.
Here's the thing. Well, you can't smoke inside the venue at the Forge, but there's a smoking area in front of the venue, so everyone who can't smoke inside the venue smokes right by the door. I'm convinced I inhaled so much secondhand smoke. If I laugh, I start coughing. Like I feel like I feel like my clothes probably stink of cigarettes just from walking in and out of that door.
I'm so glad that you can't smoke in venues anymore.
Oh my gosh, I remember coming home from shows at Metro or Double Door, and I'd have to hang my clothes like outside before I walked in the back door because they stunk. I'd have to take a shower because my hair stunk.
I didn't like that even when I used to smoke. I hated going into a venue.
Hi, how are you?
We are trapped.
Oh, by my car?
Oh, you can't get out?
And Dan Vapid's car, and we can't leave.
Okay.
And he walked away and went back in the bar.
Oh, so you just need me to back up, right?
Yeah, that'd be
All right,
great.
here we go.
We just didn't want to bother the podcast.
This is a first for the podcast. Here we go.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, not a sorry thing. We got to get you home.
You're making podcast history.
Podcast history. Here we go. This is the first. Driving while holding the mic.
Yeah.
It's okay. We were wrapping up anyway. She was trapped.
You got plenty of space back there, by the way.
Do I? I can keep going?
Yeah, I think you could go another 6 feet.
Oh, she's good. That minivan is as good as out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You take that minivan back to Naperville. All right. Go home. Get some rest. Go do your thing. Josh, obviously it's always a pleasure hanging out with you. But also, what a great pleasure seeing Smoking Popes live on stage.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
I appreciate your
still
ongoing support.
You're still great. You've aged so beautifully.
Clean living, James.
Actually, it is clean living. I was thinking about that. When you were on stage, there are water bottles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And as I recall, during 88 Fingers Louis' set, there were beer cans everywhere, and I think for the other bands. But yeah, good clean living from the Smoking Popes. An inspiration to you kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that I'm a teetotaler, which I think is evidenced by the fact that the last time I was on this podcast, one of the other podcast guests forced us all to do shots of tequila before we got in the car.
Was that the doctor who prescribed that?
I think it was.
Dr. Wilson.
Yes, it was.
He's a doctor.
He insisted on buying us shots of tequila.
He's a doctor. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty good, too. That was Fired Up Tacos, which I've been back to a couple of times since
A couple times.
Yeah. do those vegan Asian tacos.
Those were
You
good.
get a taste for them. I'm hooked.
All right. Well, Josh, thank you for doing this. Get some rest. Smoking Popes in Milwaukee next month, and we'll just keep an eye on another Chicago date in 2020.
Okay. Look, I know you want to kick me out of the car.
I want you to be able to live your life and get some sleep and lead.
I don't feel like, I just don't want to leave. It's such a safe
What do you want to do?
and happy place in here.
It is.
Do you, what's the ratio of podcasts where people actually eat food now? Because I think you do a lot of
It's funny.
episodes where there's no food involved, right?
It's not an intentional thing. I've done a lot of, I guess we'll call it event coverage over the past couple months, where I've done things like T1 Fest or Cold Waves at Metro or Riot Fest, or I did a golf tournament where I'm just out at these events all day, and it's a chance to interview a whole lot of people, but there's no food involved. And I don't want to do that thing where I'm just doing traditional interviews. If I'm going to these events, I want to be able to do it in my car. Riot Fest doesn't count. But I mean, here, same situation. Like, here's a chance to talk to you and to 88 and to Dan. It'd be crazy to try to figure out food for each of those interviews.
Yeah.
So I just kind of treat it as an event. So it just worked out that way. And the haunted houses, too, that I've done in the prison, just these opportunities have come up, and I don't want to not do them. But by the same token, it means I have to kind of fudge the Car Con Carne concept a little bit. But
Right.
that changed. Tuesday night, I'm recording with Steve Gadlin, who's an insane entrepreneurial inventor type. He was the guy who created I Want to Draw a Cat for You, which was financed by Mark Cuban on Shark Tank. We're going for pierogies on Tuesday night.
Nice.
So, I mean, I'm not
Does
walking
it
away.
always have to be dinner because of your schedule, or
Yeah.
do you ever do breakfast with somebody?
I'm open to breakfast. I could do a breakfast.
Because I like to push the envelope and break new ground with you. I was not the first guest on your podcast.
You were not. You were the
However,
first music guest.
I was the first music guest.
Yeah, that's significant.
That's significant, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, you were
Because I remember when I suggested to you, "Hey, why don't I bring my guitar and I could do a song?" And you were like,
really?
"Really?" Like, I don't think it. I think you were a little daunted by, like, how can I capture live music in the car and have it sound decent?
It worked out.
It worked out. All you really got to do is point a microphone towards the guitar, and
That's it.
it's not that hard, really.
Take that, Mr. Precision. It's that easy.
So I would be honored to also be the first breakfast guest.
Let's do that. Yeah, I mean, because you're right. Because of my day job, I really plan like 7:30, 8 o'clock for most recordings, but I could do it early in the morning, like 7 or 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
Okay. So
But okay, I live in Aurora now. How far is it from your place to Aurora?
it's
Or I would be considerate and meet you somewhere in the middle. Like, you don't have to come all the way
it
out.
would be halfway, like Lombard.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll meet in Lombard.
We'll meet in Lombard. Find a good breakfast spot in Lombard. Get
Like
it to go.
Oak Brook. Yeah, we'll get it to go. All right, so the next time Josh Caterer is on Car Con Carne, we'll be eating waffles or something. Or
Yeah.
Eggs Benedict. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Another first. We're going to break new ground.
Cool.
Josh, thank you.
Thank you, James.
I want to thank C&H Financial Services.
So do I. That thing about the 100%.
They're really, or as they say in Joliet, 100.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to stop this now. Go home. Go to bed. Go to